All right. If you're in sales, you know the grind, right? You pound the phones, you blast out emails, and you hope something sticks. But what if I told you that entire model, that whole way of thinking, is completely broken? Well, today we're going to dive into something called gap prospecting. It's a problem-centric approach that totally flips the script on how we do outreach.
So let's start with a quick thought experiment. I want you to really picture this. You're at your desk, you've got your list, and you spend the entire day dialing 100 calls. You're leaving voicemails, getting stonewalled by gatekeepers. So after all that effort, 100 attempts, how many actual real conversations are you having? Two. That's the number. Two. And honestly, that's if you're lucky. It's a pretty shocking number, isn't it? And it's right at the heart of why so many sales teams are just spinning their wheels and struggling to hit their targets. I mean, just look at the difference here. The sheer scale of this drop-off it's just staggering. Back in the 90s, you could pick up the phone and pretty reliably connect with 60, maybe 70 people out of every 100 calls. It was an activity game, right? You put in the reps, you got the results. But today, that connect rate has absolutely plummeted to around 2%. Buyers just don't pick up the phone for numbers they don't know anymore. That old playbook, it's toast. It's officially burned. So, if the old way is dead, what's the fix? Well, it takes a really fundamental shift in how we think about sales. We have to move away from this product-centric world where we can't wait to talk about our amazing features and our great company. We have to move to a problem-centric world where the only thing that matters is the buyer's business problem. Now, to make this shift actually stick, Keenan, the author behind Gap Selling, he talks about this problem-centric operating system. And this is so important because it's not just about some one-off training session. See, the first layer is all about skills, learning the new methodology. The second is the opportunity layer, where you take those skills and apply them in your actual deals and get coached. And then finally, the forecasting layer connects all of that back to real, measurable outcomes. But here's the key. Problem centricity isn't a step. It's the ribbon that ties all three of these layers together. And this quote it perfectly illustrates where so many companies go completely wrong. They get stuck in that first layer, the skills layer. They measure their success by how many people finished a training course or got some certification. But that has absolutely nothing to do with performance. They're just measuring activity. They're not measuring what matters, like higher win rates or a fatter pipeline. Okay, so how do we actually put this into practice? If you're really going to be a problem-centric seller, you need a brand new playbook. And right at the center of that playbook is one core essential tool. It's called the Problem Identification Chart, or PIC for short. And let me be clear, this isn't just another discovery tool. It is a strategic map that you build before you ever even think about speaking to a prospect. It outlines every single problem you solve, the business impact of those problems, and, crucially, their root causes. This is the thing that shifts you from just being another product vendor to being a trusted business advisor. Let's just break this down real quick. So that first column, that's your high-level business problem, something like unplanned downtime. The second column lists out the tangible, painful impacts of that problem. We're talking losing clients, getting hit with massive compliance fines, the stuff that keeps executives up at night. But now this third column, this is the most important one, the root causes. See, you can't just fix unplanned downtime, but you can fix the broken maintenance processes or the lack of visibility that are causing it. And guess what? That is exactly what your product is designed to do. Keenan's advice on what to do with your pick is, well, it's pretty simple and direct. This chart becomes your Bible. Seriously, every single discovery question you ask, every email you write, every call you make is guided by this map. It allows a great salesperson to get right to the core of a buyer's business in minutes, not hours. Okay, so you've built your pick, you're armed and ready for outreach, but here's the thing. Getting a response isn't just one single event. It's actually a two-step psychological sale that you have to make before you can even dream of asking for a meeting. The very first sale you have to make is for intrigue. This is where you earn like 30 seconds of their attention. That's it. Your goal is just to get them to stop scrolling through their inbox for a second or pause before they hang up the phone. It's only after you've created that intrigue that you can even attempt to make the second sale, which is for interest. And interest is what gets them to actually reply to your email or agree to take a meeting with you. So how in the world do you create that initial intrigue? You use triggers. A catalyst is some kind of external event that could create a problem for them. Think a new government regulation with heavy fines, or a major competitor launching some disruptive new product. A symptom, on the other hand, is evidence that suggests they might already be feeling the pain, like a sudden spike in negative customer reviews, or maybe you see they're hiring a ton of cybersecurity analysts. You use these triggers to connect your outreach directly back to the problems on your pitch. All right, so let's bring this all together with the final and maybe the most crucial takeaway of all. If you want to build a truly high-performing sales team, you have to completely change what you measure. It is time to stop managing by the activity sheet. Seriously, forget how many calls were made or emails were sent. Who cares? The real question you should be asking is, what are the behaviors of our top performers? Are they actually using the methodology? Can we connect their actions directly to better outcomes? This is what a real performance-based culture looks at. You measure what actually moves the needle: win rate, average deal size, how long it takes to close a deal, and the pipeline generated by each individual rep. These are the numbers that tell you if your strategy is actually working, not just if your team is busy. And that really leaves us with one final question for you to take back with you. I want you to look at your own sales organization, at your own process. Are you rewarding people for being busy, or are you rewarding them for driving real, measurable performance? Because honestly, the answer to that one question, it could change everything.